Hey guys, today I'm going to do a review on the UtechSmart Venus Pro. That's the wireless version. But I'm also going to be talking about the merits of wireless mice versus the usual wired mice, which you'll probably get. So it's going to be 90% review, 10% just me ranting about wireless mice and why you should probably switch to them. So, here we go. Okay, so some background information before we get anywhere. I am a longtime fan of Razer, and I also really like the Logitech peripherals, So I've really enjoyed most of the Razer lineup for mice and keyboards. I think they're pretty good. Not recently though, because the last time I enjoyed anything from the lineup of Razer was with the original Razer Mamba. I think this is the 2012 edition. Not sure. I'm gonna check that up, and you're probably gonna see it on the video. What's the actual version? But after that, I have used all of the Mamba lines, like all the wireless edition lines of the Mamba, and I think the Naga is the other one. Also use that, and I can say for a fact that number one, the mice sensors have been getting much better as compared to original. Also, the battery life is, well, spectacular compared to when it first arrived. I mean, when it first arrived, yes, we did have a very shiny dock, and it was nice to look at, and it was like one of those things you just put on display, so when your friends come over, they'll be like, wow, look at that. You actually have a Razer mouse. Back then, it was like a huge shrine, just showing of how much of a gamer you are, and how elite you are in the gaming world. At least that's how I remember it. Don't quote me on that. Anyway, regarding the Razer lineup, I think that somewhere along 2014, 2015, it just went all to shit. And a lot of you guys that are fans of Razer will say, no, come on man, you're just hating on Razer. But see, everything I've bought of the Razer lineup past 2012, 2013 has not lasted more than a year. And now you guys want to argue also that, well, this is not true. I still have a Razer mice, been going strong for about 2 to 3 years. Here's the thing though, do you know that there are multiple Razer factories? And I don't know if you're aware of this, but here in the Philippines, we have a different Razer factory. Not only in the Philippines, but through most of Southeast Asia. And in my experience, and many of the experiences of people that live in these regions, can't say all, but most of the people I know, most of our peripherals from the Razer company have gone to shit after less than a year. Now you can put on your conspiracy theory hats and just say, that's crazy, man. And you can just close this video now if you don't believe me. But if you guys have experienced it, what I'm talking about, if you've experienced buying one of these products from, I wouldn't say the modern era, I would say more on the post-2015 to the, well, till now, 2020 era, and you've had problems with your peripherals from the Razer lineup, this also actually carries over to a little bit from the Logitech lineup, but I'd like to focus more on Razer since they're continuously growing and spreading their business ventures. So if you have been experiencing these problems, then you might want to stick around and listen to why I no longer use the Razer mice, Razer keyboard lineup. I've also used the Razer keypads are the ones, all three. There's the Orb Weaver, there's two more. But it's going to be right here. I'm going to place it and you're just going to see it right now, scrolling on the side. I've used all three, and they have not lasted me more than a year. And so I've completely given up on Razer products, at least here in the Philippines. Regarding this, when you take into account that most of the Razer wireless mice are kind of insanely expensive. I mean, the latest Mamba right now, the wireless edition, which for all intents and purposes is actually a very nice mouse. It feels great. You can run it with no issues up until it breaks. That would be your one big issue. And even if there are warranties, the warranties provided by Razer locally is store-based, or it's store chain based. It's not provided directly by Razer. It is provided by these chains or stores in the country which I guess are partnered up with Razer, and they'll replace your mouse if it still falls within warranty, or they'll try to fix it. But in my experience, I've done this like almost a dozen times now, and the mouse just lasts long enough until the warranty is about to expire, and even if you switch it over, within a couple of months, the same thing will happen. So, kudos to these stores that they're able to continuously keep up the warranty and replace your mouse. I've had like 3 replacements on my latest Razer Mamba. But, I mean, they keep failing. So it's kind of a waste of money, even though, let's say, alright, every year, let's say, best example, you have a 1-year warranty, you're able to switch it out, let's say 9 months from now, the mouse fails, you get a new one, that one's on warranty again, it fails again, you get another one, still on warranty. I mean, sure, that might be pretty good, but at the same time, why don't you just buy a mouse that actually lasts you 3 to 5 years? And so, knowing this, and also knowing how the Logitech lineup has the same problems, I started looking into other types and other brands of mice. This one here, UtechSmart Venus Pro, not the regular. Why? Number one, wireless mice and wireless gaming devices are, I mean, it's 2020. Why are we still using wired mice? Everything is USB-C compatible. And if you're a console player, and I have no issues with console players, because I also have a PlayStation, I've also had an Xbox, and these guys, these things are wireless anyway. I mean, who plays with a wired controller nowadays? The input lag is completely negligible. So, with regards to mice, if you're doing an FPS, I use this mouse for Doom Eternal. Now, is it designed specifically for shooters? No. This is a, well, on the label, an MMO mouse. That's why you can see there are 12 buttons on the side, all programmable, and there's an extra button here, they call it the trigger button. Not the best button actually. I mean, if you're playing like this, and then it's weird to just switch over here, even though it's probably designed for melee attacks, I'd rather have it on my thumb here, which is easier to reach when I'm doing a melee attack in Doom. But that's not the point. The point is, a lot of people still want to stay with wired mice because, you know, there's a lot of talk about the input lag. Honestly, what are you playing that requires such a inconsequential amount of input lag that with it you would actually lose the game if you had like a wireless mouse instead of a wired mouse? And anyway, these wireless mice, unlike some of the newer brands, again, the Razer Mamba, it's 2 ways. If you decide you do want to go back and just play again with a cable, then yes, it has a USB-C slot. Let's put it in there. And it works the same as the wired version. And the difference in price is like 500 pesos. So, honestly, just get yourself a wired mouse. But let's talk about why this mouse is one of my favorite mice of all time. First of all, I bought this mouse in January of this year. It is now November 2020, and I have no issues with this mouse. Now, it costs around $36. For you in the Philippines, because I'm sure most of my audience will be Filipino, that's around 1,300 pesos. Now, let's compare that to the Razer mouse. Mamba, or let's say some of the other wireless mice. Let's go for the Red Dragon, the non-crappy version, because there are the M4s, I think they're called. Again, you'll probably see it here, my corrections. But these mice are, well, they don't go up to 1600 dpi. Some of them do, but you will notice the input lag when you play with these mice. Why? Because I bought them, I've tried them, and I've given them away. Just because they actually affect my game when I'm playing. Whereas with this mouse, it feels exactly the same as the higher-end brand mice. And it's relatively unknown. So that's why it comes out to about 1.3 compared to about 5,000. The one issue you guys might encounter is shipping, because you can only get these from Amazon US or Amazon UK. Now, direct shipping, sometimes they'll do it, sometimes they won't. They're a little, I don't know what's up with Amazon with that. I guess if it's available and there's somebody that's willing to ship it internationally, you'll get it. But shipping cost is about 1.2. So in total, this mouse cost me about let me do some math, about 2.6, okay? That's barely anything. That's still less than, well, a little over half of what you would pay for a premium mouse if you bought one here locally. And yes, it does come with a warranty. Not only does it come with a warranty, this mouse comes with a USB driver, which you just plug into your system, and it's just there. You know, you don't have to update it. You don't have to go to the internet. You don't need to download and update something like the Synapse or the Logitech. I forget what it is, but you know what I mean. Programs. It's very simple. You set up the program, you set up your macros manually, probably takes about 15 seconds to do so, and you can save several types of macroses which you can easily load up and import, export. If you have an issue or you're worried that it won't carry over, drop these macro system imports into your Dropbox. It's the exact same thing, and it's less of a hassle than having to be tied into one system like the Razer Synapse system, which, I mean, Synapse 2, Synapse 3, it was very, very confusing if you have mixed peripherals from different generations. No issues with this one, so that's one thing I'd like to point out when you get a mouse like this. Also, it has survived so much drops. I mean, I play wirelessly. One, because I don't like being tied up to my computer. Plus, my computer is a laptop. I bring it around. I go to my friend's house. I can play there. I go to the dining room. I can play there. I go to the toilet. A little weird to play on the toilet. But if you want to play on the toilet, yes, you can. Just because it's wireless and you can... Well, if you have one of those desk trays, you can just put your laptop there. You can put your mouse there. And you guys can just play from that area. So, again, if you have an issue, plug in the cable. It's a braided cable, same thing as what you would have gotten if you got the wired, and the difference is about 500 pesos. So what are you even doing with a wired mouse? Anyway, more about that regarding the wireless versus wired mice. So, another thing I hate about wired mice. One, it gets messy. It gets real messy. If it gets tangled up while you're playing, say it's a really intense match, or you're in the middle of clicking and you're just like, and then it gets tangled up. And you have to rearrange it, you have to lift it, put it back down, and then continue playing on that area. And then, I mean, those are actual seconds that you lose as compared to just the perceived millisecond time lag, which a lot of people say, oh, it's the difference between losing and, you know, winning the match. No, it really isn't. It's a bigger issue if you get tangled up, if your system is not set up properly, than it is the input delay. There really is no significant input delay wherein you would actually lose a game and that you would have problems if you were using a wireless mouse. So let's please not blame the mice for our lack of skill, because I've done that also, and honestly, that just means that I suck at the game. So let's not blame the mouse, alright? Here's another thing, and this probably won't apply if you guys live in the northern regions or if you guys in first world countries, but this is a third world country. So no matter how clean your setup is, if you have a cat or you have dogs or, well, it's the Philippines, so we have mice. I mean, they're going to nibble at that. There's a chance they will. There's a chance that your house is completely clean, fumigated, no pests, no rodents, no problem. But you know, let's just not say rodents. Just from wear and tear itself, having a wire that is completely built into the mouse. If there is a problem with the wire, and say what you want about double braided, triple braided, a little bit of bend in that wire, and that's it. You gotta buy a new mouse. I mean, you can probably go to a technician or to one of the places nearby who will probably fix it for you by getting a replacement USB cable and then just jury rig that up, but no one's going to go through that much trouble. Whereas if this had a problem with the USB connection, I can just buy a generic USB cable and it will work the same. A generic USB cable is 50 pesos. Yes, that's $1 for you guys out there. If there is a problem with my wired connection, I just buy a new one. Easy fix. So, I mean, this is why I really am pushing for wireless mice. Okay, so now let's talk about the non-gaming specific uses of having this mouse. Because first of all, you guys should know that I am not a gaming channel. I try not to game, even though I keep going back to gaming. You guys can check it up over here, how to stop being addicted to games, but I use this a lot for getting things done. First of all, again, I said these buttons here can be used for macros. So if you are video editing, it saves you the trouble of having to bind all of your commands to the keyboard. And if you're running Bunpro, or if you're running LingoDeer, or any of the other language learning programs, it also saves you from having to hit enter or escape, or I can just put this. This is my enter, this is my escape, this is my space, this is my choose the different answer. Oh, this is answer B, answer A, answer C. It takes a little getting used to, but as a productivity mouse, I know it was designed for MMO, but with the macros, you can just do so much more, and you don't need to have a keyboard. Now, I realize that having a keyboard and a mouse is standard. However, sometimes, you want to be drinking from a cup or eating a hamburger and you still want to be working. And this saves you one whole hand to do other things. Wink, wink. Anyway, so that's one of the things why I would recommend having one of these mice. Because, again, macros, so much more work you can get done on having one of these. Okay. So I just went back to Amazon right now and I checked. And right now, they're not delivering directly in shipments. And also, it's gone up in price. It's now like $45. So that's around 2,200 pesos. However, that is not permanent. That is just the regular thing. And Amazon often has sales. So I was able to get this mouse, again, for $35. So if you guys just wait a little bit for the next sale, and Christmas is coming up, you'll probably be able to get it for the same price I did. Here's a fun thing also. Do you know that they send you a $10 gift certificate if you review this mouse? And, I mean everyone, not just the reviewers, which you can use for something else. Or they'll send you a mouse pad, but why the hell would I need a mouse pad? I can get a mouse pad for like 20 pesos here in the Philippines. Don't really need that. So, to me, I got that gift certificate and I used it to buy some new Kindle books for my studies. So, that's a nice to have. And, I mean, it comes when you buy the mouse. So, I don't know if they still offer it nowadays. But, I know that a lot of people that bought this got the certificate included. So, you just have to wait a little bit and you're still going to get it at the price I mentioned, right? It's going to be like 26 pesos only. So, I mean, just wait a bit. This is a very nice mouse. And if you do decide that you don't want to get the ProSmart Venus, sorry, that does not make sense. If you don't want to get the UtechSmart Venus Pro, that is so many words. There are actually other wireless mice right now, and which have similar key switches. I believe the latest Red Dragon MMO mouse is built on the same architecture. So I can't really attest for its durability as much as I attest for this one. But that's just some food for thought for you guys if you want to save some money and you want to be able to get the best bang for your buck. Because again, we are in a third world country over here. And we don't really have money to be spending like 5,000 pesos every year for new mice. So, again, check out this mouse. It's pretty good. If you check its reviews on Amazon, and these are not paid reviews, you can actually leave a bad review and you will still get the gift certificate, so don't worry. Nobody paid me to make this review. Check it out. It's a good mouse. And I think you guys will really like it. So, that's it for this week. If you guys like the video, I'm probably going to make another educational video next week, but I mean this week I just had to talk about mice because there's, Corsair sent me like this survey form and they sent me $10 also to do a survey for them for mice. I don't know if you guys are going to get that, but if you frequent Amazon a lot, companies will send you gift certificates and they'll send you all sorts of free stuff just for you to review their products. You don't even have to buy their product. Just review it, talk about what you like, do some surveys. It's going to be great for you guys. So, I'll probably bring that up also on the channel. I'll let you guys know when these things are running so you guys can join. Get some free stuff. We're in the third world. The best free stuff, we can't say no to that. So, if you like this video, you want to see more like it, once again, hit the subscribe button. And I will see you guys all next week. Guys, hold up. Alright. If it's not available for shipping right now on Amazon and you can't get it on Amazon US or Amazon UK, remember, forward shipping is a thing. That's like less than 1,000 pesos. Just forward it to one of these forward shippers, okay? If you don't know what that is, ask. I can leave like the links down below. So, just wanted to add that before we end. Peace out, guys.